Good evening. I know we're not following exactly the program. Dean Berman couldn't be here, so I'm going to jump in and do the welcoming remarks instead of the concluding remarks. First, I want to thank all of you for doing something really important, for stepping up, for signing up for a clinic, and for really opening up yourselves to an experience, some of you for the first time, in having the responsibility of representing real people with real problems, with real issues, with real challenges. And you are what stand between them and sometimes having a place to sleep instead of outside, being able to be reunited with their families, being able to stay in the United States, being able to face the next day, even though they may not have a penny to their name. The examples could go on. The people that you are going to have an opportunity to interact with are people that oftentimes have nowhere else to go. Oftentimes, they don't trust the legal system. They may not trust lawyers. They may have had a negative interaction with a lawyer in the past. They may have gotten bad advice in the past. They may blame the system for the situation that they're in. But the most important thing that you can do, besides being honest, besides working diligently, besides doing everything you can to help them, is you are the face not only of Touro Law Center, but you are the face of the entire legal profession for these clients. They know you, they know that you're a law student, but they know that you are about to become a lawyer. And how they view in the future lawyers, how they view our system of justice, they're looking to the relationship that they build with you, that you build with them, and the experience that they've had because of your interaction with them. Some of you are going to have very critical life issues for your clients that you have to deal with while you're taking other classes at school, while you have your own challenges at home. And your experience in the clinic is going to challenge you to put your client first and to try to understand where they're coming from, where they're at, and what they need. So signing up for a clinic in law school is not just a thing to do. It's not just another class. It's a whole lot more. And so I appreciate you stepping up again to take on this responsibility. I hope that you appreciate all that is entrusted in you. You all had to interview for the clinics, to fill out a form for the clinics. Everybody who applies for a clinic doesn't automatically get a clinic in your class. You were selected for your clinics because your faculty have faith in you, again, in representing the school and in representing the profession. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Professor Rubinstein.
I'd like to welcome you here tonight. You know, you're going to participate this semester in a wonderful experience. It's going to be a lot of work, a lot of hard work. You're going to be at times confused, at times concerned about what's going on, at times you're not going to know which end is up. But it's a learning experience. And by the end of this semester, you're going to feel like you're ready to go out and become a lawyer. Things that you've trained for the past 2 years, the background that you've gotten here, this is where you're going to put it all together. You're going to put it together, you're going to meet with clients, you're going to interview clients, you're going to learn how to work in the courts, you're going to learn to approach a judge, go before a bench. You're going to be able to do the things that you want to do, one of the reasons why you came into law school to do it. We're fortunate tonight to have the district attorney with us. Introducing the district attorney is someone you know as Professor John Benora. Professor Benora is the director of the Criminal Prosecution Clinic. Those of you that are taking the clinic with him have already met with him. But Professor Benora, in his previous life, was the Chief Assistant District Attorney for the County of Suffolk. So he worked hand in hand with the District Attorney, and he knows him well. So it's my pleasure to introduce Professor John Bernard.
Thank you, Leif. As Professor Rubinstein mentioned, I worked for Mr. Spota for close to 9 years, and have counted him as a friend for, well, I won't say how long, but many years longer than that. He's going to administer the student attorney oath to each of you in a few minutes. I just want to tell you very briefly one or two things about Mr. Spota. He's a graduate of St. John's University School of Law, has served in the Marine Corps. After service in the Marine Corps, he embarked on a very successful career in the law, both in private practice as well as an assistant district attorney. In November of 2001, Mr. Spota was elected Suffolk County District Attorney, where he is currently serving for a historic 4th term. No one has ever done that before. Importantly, Mr. Spota has been a great friend of Touro Law School. He's hired many Touro graduates as assistant district attorneys, as well as having created and initiated the criminal prosecution clinic together with Dean Emeritus Larry Rayful, a program that we're now in our 5th year. At this point, I ask students and faculty, I give you Suffolk DA Tom Spota.
Thank you very much, John, and thanks for inviting me here today. One of the things that I just heard from your Professor Rubinstein is probably the most important thing these clinics can do for you, and that is that it is the best learning experience. I only wish, and we were talking before we came in here, if I could tell you, when I graduated from law school, I only wish we had that experience or that opportunity to be able to go to a clinic. We didn't have that. We went to law, we went to school, we went home, we studied, we worked, and when we got out of law school, it was like, it was an incredible experience. And I'll tell you just real quick, my very first day out of law school, and well, the Marine Corps came first, but when I finished my service, I had to report for my first day with a law firm, and they told me to go out to Suffolk County. This was in Nassau County. They told me to go out to Suffolk County to handle an arraignment, and I had no idea, no clue on what was going to happen. Nobody told me anything. Here are the papers, go out, they gave me the name of the client, argue for bail, do this, do that. Not a clue. It was the most terrifying experience of my life. And I went into court, and the very first thing they called the case, my heart was pounding. I don't think I could have said a word. And the judge said, second call. And as those of you who will get into a courtroom or don't know now, second call means they're going to call the case again. I had no idea what they were talking about. I didn't know if I was going to call somebody. I had no clue whatsoever. So it is a great learning experience. Plus, it's an opportunity to showcase your talents. What a great opportunity that is for you to go to some employer. Presumably, it'll be somebody in some field of endeavor that you're interested in. I was just looking over here. Great clinics, elder law clinic, veterans clinic, federal prosecution, defense. I mean, it's terrific stuff. And if you're interested in going into environmental law, what better opportunity than to be working for a firm and seeing what is it all about? And is it great for us? Absolutely. What do we have? We have the opportunity to look at you. We have the opportunity to say, there's a person that walked into that, and I'll just talk about from a prosecutor's point of view. There's a person that just can walk into a courtroom, and they've got poise, they've got composure, they know under stressful circumstances how to handle, how to get up, and how to speak. how to address the court, how, if it's a complex issue, how to argue one way or the other. And remember, you're going in, and again, I can only speak for the prosecution clinic. You're going to be going into, by the time you get out of school and you're going to go to whatever your employment may be, you're going to know what an arraignment is because you're going to be doing them. You're going to hear second call many, many times. You're going to be arguing for bail. You'll be doing every single thing that a prosecutor admitted to the bar, practicing in or hired by us, is capable of doing. Last summer, I should say, one of our student interns from St. John's University handled a jury trial, DWI refusal jury trial, conviction as charged. Let me tell you something. John, Professor Benora and I were handling homicides. That's basically most of what we did for most of the years that we were in the office. I have to tell you, a DWI refusal is one of the hardest cases to prosecute. It is one of the hardest cases to prosecute. And here's a third-year student who is trying a jury trial and gets a conviction as charged. That is great, great experience. And what has that told us? That's a person I'd be interested in. Because just as you are applying all of your, I should say this is another great thing that was touched upon by Professor Rubinstein, that you're going to be taking all of the education, everything that you learned in a classroom setting, and walking in, and now this is real life experience. You're going to see every aspect, again, only talking about ours, but it applies to all the clinics. But talking about ours as the example, the only example I can use, I mean, you're going to be dealing with people that have come from every single walk of life. You're going to be talking to the police officers and interviewing the cops. What happened? You'll have a caseload. You'll be doing pretrial hearings, suppression hearings, Wade hearings, Huntley hearings, things of that sort. And if you're lucky enough, going to trial. Terrific experience. Once again, great experience for you, great, great value to us. Because those are the types of people we are looking at. Believe me when I tell you, and it will apply to every one of your clinics. If you're going into environmental, I don't know if there is one here, elder law clinic, and you want to work for an elder law firm, you can take it to the bank that if you have worked for them, they are looking, they want to know, is this the type of person that I want to hire? And when we get resumes, the very first thing we look at are the people. Are they really, really interested in our office? Do they really want to be a prosecutor? What do I look at? Do we listen to them in interviews? Sure. But what am I really interested in? I want to see that resume. I want to see if they're so interested in being a prosecutor, did they do an internship in our office or some other prosecutor's office? Today, I hired somebody from this school who had interned in our office, had interned in the, I think Queens DA's office, interned in the U.S. Attorney's office. That told me a lot about that particular person. And the other thing that we do is we call up the people in the district court that they worked with, that you will be working with if you're in our program. And we ask them, how is that person? What do you think of that person? That's far, far more valuable to me than what you're saying in an interview. Because let's face it, we all know what happens in an interview. You want to look your very best. You're going to give us a little bit of, you know what. But that's not going to happen when we say, hey, the bureau chief, John Mongalusi, District Court Bureau Chief, John, how was that person? Terrific. And we hire many, many people And we make no bones about it. I hire a lot of people from Touro Law School because I like the law school, but I like the people that we're hiring. And the very first thing we want to know is, how was that particular person, how did they do in this clinical program? And that goes a long, long way, probably the most important thing for our purposes in considering whether we're going to hire somebody or not. So I truly, truly can't tell you how important these programs are. And I also can't think of a better way to bridge the gap between law school and landing a good job. So with that in mind, I will administer to you the oath of office. Now, what I'm going to do, this is a long oath of office, but I've administered many oaths of office, but this is the longest I've ever seen. We'll be here for 45 minutes. So what I will do is, if you would, I'll ask you to stand, raise your right hand, and at that point, I am going to read the oath to you, and at the very end, if you agree and you swear or affirm everything that I'm reading, all you have to do is say yes. Can't be any easier than that, okay? So if you'd stand, raise your right hand. Do you and each of you solemnly swear or affirm that you will support the Constitution of the United States of America, the Constitution of the State of New York, and faithfully discharge the duties of a law student intern in the clinical programs of the Touro Law Center according to the very best of your ability, and that you will also undertake your responsibilities as a law student intern consistent with the student practice order of the Appellate Division's 2nd Department, and will in all things act with integrity and honor and in accordance with the New York Rules of Professional Conduct as fully as if you were admitted to practice in the courts of the state of New York. If you do so swear or affirm, please say yes. Yes. Thank you very much. You've all been sworn in. And thank you again for coming tonight. I wish you all the very best of luck. And once again, reaffirming, this is a great, great opportunity. An opportunity, I don't know how long you've had the program, but what?
Ours is 5 years.
5 years. So all those old timers like us, we never had this opportunity. Great, great opportunity. Take advantage of it. Thank you.
Thank you all for coming, and have a good night.